January 6th, of course, a difficult anniversary for many who watched live as hundreds of rioters stormed the Capitol.
And today, President Biden is expected to speak about the importance of a peaceful transition of power. Trump supporters are also scheduled to speak on Capitol Hill today.
12 News reporter Kate Walsh got the unique perspective from a staffer who experienced the insurrection. She joins us live right now with that story.
Well, there are expected to be vigils held at the Capitol today to remember the lives lost in the violence. And in the year following the insurrection, 4 Capitol police officers have also died by suicide. It's expected to be a day of reflection, a mood much different from last year. An attack on the Capitol, the symbolic heart of democracy.
This was actually an angry mob that had come to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power.
Rich Lucetti was a staffer for ranking Democrat Rhode Island U.S. Congressman David Cicilline. He recalls how the day quickly turned from one in which Congress was supposed to peacefully certify electoral college votes to a day now remembered as the insurrection.
And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Then President Trump held a rally nearby that day. The nation watched live as rioters left that rally and then stormed the Capitol, making their way to the Senate floor. 5 people died from the violence. Lucetti was locked in Cicilline's office along with California Congressman Ted Lieu, who had to evacuate his office due to what was believed to be a pipe bomb there.
In my head, it felt like if I had left in that moment, to some extent, it would be allowing the insurrectionists to win, to leave our office. And at the same time, we had a job to do.
This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos.
Over the past 12 months, more than 700 people have been arrested for their alleged roles in the attack. Some 250 others are still wanted by the FBI. Capitol Police Chief Thomas Manger testified to a congressional committee Wednesday about what's changed since that day.
A blueprint for operational planning has been created and put into place for all future significant events. If January 6th taught us anything, it's that preparation matters.
And on January 7th, Capitol Police will be looking to hire 280 new officers. Former President Donald Trump has canceled a press conference he had scheduled for today at Mar-a-Lago, but Republican congressional members Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene are expected to speak in Washington, D.C. Live in studio, I'm Kate Walsh, 12 News.
While congressional members locked themselves in their offices 1 year ago, Congressman Cicilline at that time took time to get to work. He penned a letter to the vice president asking him to invoke the 25th Amendment and then an article of impeachment that the House would then go on to pass. 12 News reporter Kate Walsh is live in our studio after hearing from one of Cicilline's staffers about the experience that day. Kate.
Richard Lucetti says he was monitoring the videos being posted on social media by Trump supporters the night before, January 5th, but felt confident he'd be safe in the Rayburn building that day.
I remember having the thought to myself of let him try. We have to go through metal detectors multiple times to get into the Capitol. There's police pretty much everywhere.
He said he was just about to get his first vaccine at a clinic in the basement of the Rayburn building when he heard the chaos starting to come through on a Capitol police officer's radio. That's when he went back into his office, where he says California's Congressman Ted Lieu was also locked in there after a pipe bomb was believed to be found near his office. The 2 congressmen, Cicilline and Lieu, wrote an article of impeachment that was passed by the House a week later. Since that day, Lucetti says he's left that job and has been frustrated over the past year watching the political fallout.
The most frustrating piece is that these are all people who know what they're doing, who are well educated, know the political process. They know better than what they're doing, but they've made a craven political calculation to do what's in their interests rather than what's in our national interest.
Lucetti says he fears this could happen again, or something else might happen if Donald Trump runs for president again and loses again. Live in the studio, I'm Kate Walsh, 12 News.